So this video is all about my thoughts on God.
Are you listening?
So this video is all about my thoughts on God. My name is Timothy Schultz. If you are new to my channel, you might not know that this channel is not necessarily a metaphysical channel. I don't usually talk about my spiritual beliefs or my thoughts on God, but I have had quite a few of you out there ask me my thoughts on this subject, so I thought I would make a vlog about it. On this channel, if you are new, I do vlogs like this one as well as interviews with some of the most compelling people that I can find. Some of those people actually are lottery winners because one of the things about me, I am a lottery winner. Way back in the day, in 1989, I won the Powerball before going back to college to study film and journalism and broadcast news. And I'm now combining my experience with these things with my desire to meet and interview other people that I find fascinating. And some of these people are indeed other lottery winners. I just find it very interesting to meet other people that have experienced that sort of thing. But it's not only lottery winners that I'm interviewing on this channel, just people in general that I find fascinating. So if you want to see any of these podcast interviews or more vlogs like this one, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified when they come out. But this video is all about my thoughts on God. And so on this channel, typically, I try to be very objective. I try to not insert too many of my personal beliefs, especially when it comes to God and spirituality, because I don't want to alienate anybody, because I know different people have different beliefs. And before I get into any of this, I just want to say that I respect you. I respect your belief, whether it aligns or does not align with my own. I completely respect where you're coming from. I am not here to try to convince anyone of anything. That is not my intention. That's not what this channel is about either. But I have had a lot of people ask me what my thoughts are on this subject. So that's what this video is all about. And if you don't believe what I believe, that's okay with me. But without further ado, let's get to it. Here are my thoughts on God. Most people that are familiar with this channel know that I have had dreams about things before they've happened, including dreaming about winning the lottery before I won the lottery. So I'm very into trying to understand the power of the mind, the power of the subconscious. Is there more than just our physical bodies and that sort of thing? I'm very interested in this stuff. A few years ago, I made a documentary about ghosts, the prospect of life after death. I've had a lot of experiences that I find very, very interesting on this type of subject. I even produced an animation a few years ago called The Cave, an adaptation of Plato's Allegory in Clay, which I think fits perfectly with an analogy. You know, if you haven't experienced something for yourself, then it can be very difficult to believe that something exists. Basically, there are prisoners that are chained inside of a cave, and their whole reality are these shadows that are cast upon a wall in front of them. That's their whole world. That's what they know. They are chained and they make meaning of these shadows. That's what they know for life. And then one day, one of the prisoners is released out of the cave, and he sees that these shadows are actually indeed shadows cast by a fire behind them. And he goes back in to tell the other prisoners, look, these are actually shadows that are being cast by these objects and these people and these animals that are walking behind them with a fire. And he explains to them, but they don't believe him, and they think he's crazy because they haven't experienced it for themselves. And so I think that fits perfectly with a lot of people that are skeptical about this sort of thing, because why would you believe something if you haven't experienced it for yourself? And I do think that there is also faith. So when it comes to God, a lot of people have faith, and maybe they haven't experienced something and they have faith. And I completely respect that. But I'm just saying that for a lot of things in life, including God, for some people, it's hard, it's difficult to believe unless you have experienced something for yourself. Just by someone else telling you that it's true doesn't necessarily convince people. So, as I said in this video, I'm not trying to convince anyone, but my personal belief is that I do believe in God. I've believed in God all of my life. I'm not religious, though, and I don't currently subscribe to any particular religion. But I do think a lot of religions hold important knowledge. And I think personally that when it comes to God, for me, this is my personal belief. This is not speaking on behalf of any religion or anybody else. Just my personal belief is I believe that God absolutely does exist. I believe that we are all connected Okay? And I think this is proven with science through quantum physics. I believe that we are all connected. It's been shown that when major world events affect the mind of millions of people, random number generators actually change. Experiments have also shown that the molecular structure of water changes when it is blessed to become holy. I think that you can put energy out into other things and affect other things, and I think we are all connected. Now, what does this have to do with God? I believe that we are also all connected to God because I believe that the truth of reality is God. I think that God is love. I think that there is nothing more powerful nor truthful than God. It is the essence of everything. It's where we come from and where we go. I believe that we are like waves in an ocean. We're unique, amazing, incredible waves that come up for a little while and then they go back down in this huge ocean that is more powerful than all of us, and we are part of this ocean. So I don't view us as these separate entities. I think that we are all connected, part of a larger whole. And so our wave may go up for a while and then it goes down back into the ocean. But the whole time we're part of the ocean. Just because we can't see it when we're above the ocean doesn't mean we're not already a part of it. And so that's what I believe. I strongly believe in life after death. I have spoken with people that have had near-death experiences. I have had experiences with what I believe to be spirits of people that I knew in this life, and some that I didn't, that are no longer in a physical body. I strongly believe in life after death, and I believe in God, and I believe in the power of prayer. I think it's very powerful, as well as the power of the mind. But I think that for most of us anyway, just because we can't see or sense or hear something doesn't mean, in my opinion, that it doesn't exist. I think that we are part of something much, much larger than ourselves, and I think there's nothing more powerful than God. I think that God is all loving, God is all caring, and throughout my whole life when I have felt down on my luck, I have prayed to God, and I believe strongly that my prayers are answered. And it's not always what I want to hear or how I expect to hear it, but I believe that my prayers are answered. And I also believe that we have spiritual guides, whether you want to call them angels or something else. I believe in that. I believe that life continues, and I believe that there is nothing more powerful than God. I believe that prayer is real. I believe that our thoughts matter. Our energy matters. And I believe that we're all connected. I mean, has someone ever been on your mind and then you receive a phone call or an email or they pop up in your life all of a sudden? I mean, I think that's a very common thing that a lot of people experience. That's just one example of why I think that we're all connected, but I think it can go way beyond that. I don't believe that it's pseudoscience. I don't believe that it's fantasy. I don't believe that it's made up or that it's something that I want to believe and therefore I believe it. I honestly believe in God. There are so many things I've experienced that have led me to believe this. And of course I do have faith, but it goes way beyond faith. The word God is it can be at least controversial because different people have different opinions of what God is. But for me, God is the all-loving, all-encompassing force that we are all a part of. It's where we come from and where we go, and there's nothing more powerful. There's nothing more truthful. I don't claim to have all of the answers on this subject, but I strongly, strongly believe this type of thing. I've had so many experiences that have led me to believe this type of thing, and I'm not trying to push my beliefs off on anyone watching this video, whether you do or don't believe in God, or whether your version of God is different than my version of God. I totally 100% respect whatever you believe. I'm not here to convince anyone of anything. That's not my desire, and I don't think that I necessarily can if it was my desire, because I believe that a lot of times you have to experience something to totally believe something. But from my personal experiences, I strongly believe in God. I believe that we are not just our physical bodies. We're not different. I think that's sort of an illusion, that we're all these separate entities, that we are not all connected. I think that's sort of an illusion. I think that we are all connected. In fact, I think that they've proven it through science. I even interviewed a quantum physicist once that believed that there was no force stronger than love. And I believe that God is love. I believe that God is. So what is God? God is. I believe that we're like fish in a bowl, and our perspective is looking out of the bowl into the world, and we see people walking by and different things, but we're swimming in the bowl, so our perception is pretty limited. But if you're taken out of the bowl, then your perception is going to be totally different. And so I believe that's the way it is with God for a lot of people, and with spirituality, and with the notion of being something beyond our physical bodies, which I believe that we are. I believe that God is the ever-powerful force of love that is our truth. And I also believe that anything and everything is possible with God, because God is the truth, love, life, here and beyond, which is really not the beyond at all, because we're all part of it. There's nothing more powerful than God, in my opinion. I strongly believe this. I'm a very spiritual person. I don't put that out there very often, but I thought I would make a video on this topic just for the people that are curious, because I've had quite a few people write in and ask me my thoughts on this. So those are my thoughts. But if your view on God is different than mine, or if you're an atheist or anything else, that's okay with me. That's not the point of this video, to convince you otherwise, and I completely respect where you're coming from. So if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, and let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on God? I love checking out your comments. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support.